Thank you very much for watching this video. Before we begin, I wanted to include a disclaimer, as I include in my about section as well as in the description of this video. All of my readings are for entertainment purposes only. They are never, ever meant to diagnose, treat, or otherwise have any influence upon your own medical issues or situations that you may have. I always encourage everyone to make their own sound decisions, including legal matters, financial matters, and every other matter in your own life. These are for entertainment purposes only. As these are general tea leaf readings, again, it makes sense, therefore, that some of this information will resonate with you and some of it may not. You may find that some applies and some doesn't. That is completely normal and to be expected, as these are general tea leaf readings. So again, take what you will and leave what you don't, and simply enjoy your reading and hope that you find it informative and insightful. Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Sarah, your coffee drinking tea leaf reader, and here we are for yet another general bi-weekly tea leaf reading, and this one is for the weeks of August the 28th. It's the end of August. And also September 4th, September of 2023. So this week as well as next week, yay, we're doing a live premiere. This is exciting. So if you are joining me right now at around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday, August the 28th, hi and welcome. This is the very first time that I am doing this as a live premiere. I'm actually recording this in the evening of this, or night, of Saturday, August the 26th. Even though this video is being pre-recorded, we are still watching this live. So I am live in the chat. This is kind of weird for me to be saying this, but I am live in the chat right now. So if you would like to come over and put something in the chat and communicate with me that way live, that would be really cool and really awesome to do. I just thought I would try something different. The thought came to me about a week ago and I thought, okay, that sounds like a lot of fun. Let's try that and see if you like it, and please let me know if you do like this format. I always love interacting with you. Every single view that you give me, comment, like, subscribe, every single thing warms my heart. So, and I absolutely adore communicating with each and every one of you. So if you want to come over to the chat and come on over and say hi, I will do my very best to reply immediately. I am watching with you right now. So thank you so much for being here, for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know our schedules are always really busy, and I really genuinely and truly appreciate you being here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and look at this tea leaf reading and see what is in store for the next 2 weeks. Again, this is for entertainment purposes only, so let's see what the universe would like us to know, and let's go. I did do a quick little look-see in the leaves just before I pushed record. I always like to show you what I'm looking at as well. I always like to show you the tea leaves themselves as well. And as you can see from what I'm seeing, well, I mean, just look, it's absolutely crazy. And yes, I do see a tree in the base. We'll get into that in just a few minutes. It looks like a very interesting spread, layout rather, of the tea leaves. So if you've watched any of the other tea leaf readings that we've done so far on this channel, usually, most oftentimes, there is like one main line or one section of the cup that is the main event or situation that is being referenced. Again, this is a general collective reading. Take what you will and leave what you don't. In this time, as in a couple of tea leaf readings we've done, there's actually 2 main events, but we'll look into that in just a second. Just wanted to show that to you, mention that to you. And as a very quick reminder, I do read chronologically. So the rim is the present situation, the sides are on the way, and the base is more of the distant future. So now, on the way and later. In our case, the rim is representing Monday, August the 28th. So today, even though I'm recording this on Saturday, today. And then as we go along, around the middle of the cup, mug, it's approximately September 4th, and early happy Labor Day. And then as we head into the base, that is like the end of next week, heading into the following week. So let's start the reading and look and see at the tea leaves. So as I mentioned a minute or two ago, there is oftentimes only one main event or situation that's being referenced. In this case, however, essentially there's 2. Now there's a couple of ways that you can interpret that. The way that I interpret this is that as of about today and or tomorrow being Monday. I'm referencing myself in terms of like future can sometimes prove past events. So in this case being Monday, it looks as though these two events are happening pretty well simultaneously. One of them, and they are related indirectly, even though they're part of one. So I will explain all of this, I promise. One of the events is taking place or starts very near to the beginning of this week, the 28th. It may actually start either on the 28th, possibly the 29th, but regardless, it's happening very soon, like right at the beginning, right at the start of this week. The other main event does also start near the beginning of the week. It just may start slightly after, like maybe a day or so approximately after the other event or situation starts as well. I would say, based on what I'm seeing, they appear to be separate. They are part of the same main event or situation. It just appears as though they are completely unrelated. However, it does come to be that we do see that they are related at approximately just after the start of next week. So it's like two things are happening. Looks like they're not really related until around just after next Monday. And then it is sort of evident at that point in time, as of, from what I'm seeing, that they are in fact related. And they both become one event or situation. That's what I mean about them being related, but doesn't appear to be. And they do lead into the base, which is next weekend heading into the following week. For the most part, generally speaking, yes, as I said, there is a tree in the base. You can see it forming beautifully. It's not fully formed yet, which makes sense. It's not here yet. We're looking into the future. However, you can see that there is a canopy as well as a trunk here on ground, or on land. So it is forming beautifully. So that's really good. That's a lot of abundance and prosperity, and we'll totally look into that when we get into the base. Generally speaking, as I continue a quick overview, a main event that starts first appears to be more comprised of thoughts, ideas, and discussions. Things are still up in the air and being worked on, still being decided upon. However, nothing too much is happening concretely or very clearly. There are some events or scenarios which comprise that main event or situation that do appear as of now that they do look quite clear. We know where we stand. However, for the most part, again, just to clarify, there's more conversations, more discussions, things still need to be decided upon. Ideas are being contemplated more so than knowing exactly where we stand for the most part. The other main event or scenario that happens just a little bit after that one starts is comprised mostly of the opposite, which is very interesting actually. We really truly know where we stand for the most part. Now I will say that at the same time, as in previous tea leaf readings, we know where we stand and yet we don't at this. There are a lot of surprises with that scenario. For example, I use examples a lot because I find that it conveys what I'm trying to say quite nicely, because just with the manner of tea leaf reading being what it is, it's just easier for me to give an example because I never really know fully what is exactly being referenced. Such is the nature of tea leaf reading, however. For example, we receive a letter that we're going to college. We know what day we're going. However, we don't know all of the ins and outs. We don't know all of the details that are associated with that. It's just we know, but yet we don't know. That kind of scenario. Some conversations, a little bit of things up in the air. There's actually one section that is more comprised of ideas, conversations, things along those lines. That scenario, generally speaking, does actually start with something to do or connection with lineage or heritage, something along those lines, sovereignty, take that for what you will. There actually may be a Canadian connection. Now, I know that I myself am Canadian. I'm currently living in Canada, but again, take that for what you will. So let's start by looking now at the details now that we've done a quick overview, or maybe not so quick, and let's get into more of the details of what the universe would like us to know for the next 2 weeks. It appears as though this entire week begins with two main events or situations taking place. as well as 3 smaller events or situations also taking place, and many other small ones happening at the same time. So 2 main ones, 3 smaller ones, and several other very much smaller ones. Now, with the main events or situations taking place, the 3 and the 2, it really seems as though we does begin with a smaller scenario that does involve a lot of conversations. Again, things are up in the air. There is likely, or there may be, a partnership that is being discussed or contemplated in some way, shape, or form that involves a new opportunity that is being also contemplated. This new partnership is helping to form it. It's comprised of it, however you want to word it. They're connected. It appears to be a positive scenario. There's also likely a helpful individual involved who has like red or auburn or darker colored hair. This is a male. There's also abundance and prosperity involved in that scenario, as well as potentially property. There's likely a Scorpio connection, documents, paperwork involved. It's almost as though a new opportunity is being presented and one is also being contemplated at the same time in regards to the scenario. There's likely the letter E involved, a person, place, or thing. E and or C. If it is the letter C, then it's comprised of 2 C's, like there's 2 C's involved, letter C's involved. Yes, with the Cancerian connection, that's something to do with the house and our home, the home and our family, emotions, healing, things along those lines. Nurturing, self-care. There's also likely, no, I said that already. There may be 3 people or 3 different parties involved in that scenario. And there's a fast-paced movement that's involved with this. Things going ahead quickly. That specifically involves action, speed, momentum, and it's related to, yes, property, but also unconventional stability. Possibly someone who is a fire sign. Just things happening quickly. There's a fire sign who's involved. Cancerian connection. Keep seeing it. There is reassurance related to that scenario, and again, that's related to the Cancerian connection specifically. Taking time out for your own self-care and also a helpful individual involved in that situation. And that involves a new beginning, a new opportunity that's being presented. Unconventional stability is also being shown. Now, there are a couple reminders in here for perspective or perception. So glass half full versus glass half empty. We may experience a couple moments where we're feeling not 100% about things. We don't want things to go the way they're going. However, it really is a matter of perspective, and they don't last long. There's more happy faces in here than there are pensive faces. So it's a good thing. But again, there is a sense of unconventional stability. And in case you wonder what I mean by that, I use that phrase a lot. So for example, you paint boxes, you sell them online, and you make money. It is unconventional, but it does provide a sense of stability or security. This involves a loving scenario in some way, shape, or form, but there's really this heritage or lineage connection, sovereignty of some kind. Cancerian connection involved. A lot of stability as well as unconventional stability, and I keep seeing it. Reassurance, positive movement forward. It's a loving scenario. This involves helping others. Specifically, some of us may be in a situation or experience a situation where we are helping a young girl, specifically, young individuals. And there's a partnership that is regarding that. It looks good. I keep seeing references to glass half full versus glass half empty, perception, perspective. There's a scenario here, again, where there is reassurance that's being indicated, likely regarding either signing of contracts or documents of some kind. A house. Looks like there's reassurance regarding that. Very much glass half full versus glass half empty situation. Looks like that's related to a partnership that is beginning to form, not quite fully formed at this moment in time, but it's on the way. Maybe 2 kinds of communication regarding that. Electronics, there may be a water connection in some way, shape, or form that's involved with that. Again, property, person, place, or thing with the letter D, like Doug or Diego, that's involved. Happiness, a sense of happiness is involved. There's someone dancing in here. It's positive, looks good. Involves a partnership that is forming. There may be some introspectiveness, taking some time out to read, research, study, whatever the case may be specifically there. And there is a woman specifically who is involved. They may have the letter K and or W in her name. Number 3 associated with that. I am not a numerologist. To me, the number 3 has many different meanings, but can also represent working with other people. Like, we have another happy face. So again, it looks like a positive scenario. Many helpful people are involved. Action, forward movement, using our intellect, our critical thinking skills in a way that is related to action and positive movement forward, getting what we want to have. Documents are involved in that situation, and it's a very positive scenario. There's reading, research, going within involved, acquiring knowledge, but that specifically is in regards to property, locations, buildings, and specifically 2 of them, or one that has like 2 parts to it at the same time. So for example, there's one property that you're looking at and it has a house and a shed, or a house and a garage, or whatever the case is. There's 2 houses together. I probably won't say this again just to not be repetitive. However, there are many helpful people involved in this entire scenario. Again, movement forward, nothing holding us back, things taking shape very nicely. An Aries or a Taurus connection, taking a leap of faith, creativity, new beginnings. Letter H and or N involved with that. Stability, a possible Libra or Leo connection. The letter N and or S and or J. We also have a helpful person, a very helpful person, has the letter S in their name. There may be an angelic connection with them at all in some way, shape, or form. Unconditional love, support, loyalty, commitment, protection, companionship, those qualities are present. Tending to what we have, some form of new ideas or a new arrival to the family in some way, shape, or form, whatever that may be. But there is 2 kinds of reassurance. So there's some kind of communication arriving to us, and there's 2 forms of reassurance that is connected with that. There's likely a document or paperwork involved in some way, shape, or form with that, as well as partnerships and a helpful individual, likely 2 individuals who are helpful, as well as independent thought, thinking for yourself, ourselves, thinking differently. Again, we have that Cancerian connection, which is appearing again. And at around this time, approximately, we're looking at around the beginning of next week. So Monday, September the 4th. Keep seeing references to partnerships that are forming beautifully. There's approximately 4 surprises, 1 main one at around, again, the beginning of next week. Again, a reminder also for glass perspective, perception, glass half full versus glass half empty. There is incredible amount of unconditional love, support, loyalty, commitment, love, protection that is arriving to us at around that time. And it's a new opportunity. It's like a new beginning. We don't even really know exactly what it is, but it's significant. Related to that is open communication between two individuals. Likely a man and a woman are involved in that scenario. Whether this is romantic or not is left to be seen, but yeah, man and a woman. Leave that there and continue. There's also a letter W, I will say, that's involved in that scenario, and it does result in some kind of either communications or money. There may be an American connection at around this time, and that is related to that. That's the main surprise that I'm seeing around the beginning of next week. Really taking time out for our own self-care, going within, shadow work, delving within ourselves, self-healing, whatever the case is. Letter E is involved. Documents, paperwork, contracts, whatever the case may be. Looks like we're pretty happy. Just a lot of different things taking place all at once, essentially. A lot of nurturing, a lot of self-care. A cute little teddy bear in here. It's a very gentle energy, very gentle and loving energy. If there is any sense of not feeling entirely happy at around that time, it's very much short-lived. It really is, again, a matter of perception. It's either we look at the sad face or we look at the group of like 4 or 5 teddy bears that are right there. So again, it's that glass half full versus glass half empty perception or perspective. Seems to be a theme for the next 2 weeks. At around this time, it's followed by yet another surprise that involves forward movement. Number 3, letter C, a document, 3 different parts, one of which is a document, and protection, person, place, or thing with the letter A and or a Scorpio connection. The letter C, I know lots of letters, and a helpful individual, likely a male, who's very wise. It's some kind of abundance and prosperity. It's just very unique and essentially has 3 different parts to it and helps to create a whole other scenario that has the letter G involved. We're very happy, like G as in gorge or George, letter G. A reminder that the angels are around us, and angelic support, obviously, present. Person, place, or thing with the letters L and or C involved, and the letter J, forward movement. This going forward, not being held back, a magical time, feeling good, open communication again between 2 individuals, except this time it's a little bit closer, in proximity, likely some form of closer communication. Action, stability, momentum. And then in this entire scenario, by the end of next week, there is a lovely tree that's forming beautifully. So I would say there's definitely the sense of abundance and prosperity that's coming in, and that somehow involves working with other people, possibly some money, possibly conversations involved, 2 different parts to it, and a sense of being introspective, going within. There's a connection there. It looks extremely positive, however. And again, at around this time, this is where those 2 larger events or situations do like merge in 2 different ways. And that's when we realize that these 2 main events or scenarios that look opposite and not related are related. And now looking at this other scenario, it does take place, like I mentioned earlier, a little bit after this first one does. It is preceded by unconventional stability, possibly yet again another Cancerian connection. 2 helpful people involved at the start of it. There also again may be a property connection. It's a very loving scenario, and those 2 helpful people are very loving and harmonious. It's a positive scenario. It really starts off insignificant. Letter M, person, place, or thing. An angelic situation. Small reminder here for perspective or perception. Again, there really does seem to be this theme for the next couple of weeks of introspectiveness, yes, but also really researching, learning. I keep seeing people looking at books, like reading books, like with their head bent down and they're reading a book. And I've seen it a few times, like 3 or 4 times. Whenever I've said going within, researching, that's what I'm referring to. Researching and learning, asking questions, never accepting what is being told to us. Ask questions, go within, seek your own divine guidance, your own inner guidance, your higher self guidance, whatever it is that you want to call that, and use your critical analytical thinking skills and decide for yourself. So say I. And from what I'm seeing in the tea leaves, from God, universe, source. Okay. Scenario of where things are up in the air, there's a possible Scorpio connection involved, transformation, new beginnings. That's what I mean by that as well. This heritage connection, this legacy, this heritage, this lineage connection. It's fairly short term. I would say it lasts maybe a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, and it precedes the rest of that main event or situation, which is for the most part comprised of a lot of surprises, a lot of unknowns. We're not supposed to know the answers right now, so it's a lot of unknowns and surprises that are being shown. Person, place, or thing with the letter J involved, yet again. Action, movement, forward thinking, moving forward. Appearances belie the truth. There's more going on that meets the eye, more happening behind the scenes that we are just not fully aware of. We kind of know, and yet we don't know. Oh, it looks like someone is smooching. 2 people smooching. So you may be smooching around the middle to the end of this week. So okay, so enjoy that. Yeah, okay, moving on. Documents, writing of some kind is being shown. Communication arriving rather quickly, fast-paced movement with that. There may be some communications or money involved in a scenario where that is the case. With abundance and prosperity, there's probably some money coming in some way, shape, or form. Unique sense of moving forward, almost like being your true self, finding out who you truly are, something along those lines. Partnerships, happiness, working with other people being involved. But again, there's a lot of surprises here. We're not really supposed to know much of anything here. Not too much. Taking time out for our own self-care. Yet again, we're reading, we're looking, we are researching and thinking for ourselves. We are educating ourselves in some way, shape, or form. There's also a scenario. Okay, I'll finish this section, then I'll look at this other accompanying section. It starts off boom and boom and boom and boom, all of these things taking place. And then I would say by around the middle or so of next week, things really begin to become even more intensified. There is a likely Aries and or Taurus connection taking place next week. It involves reassurance. Again, we're looking within ourselves, we're researching, we're learning. It's a happy scenario, and we have new opportunities and love and positive, helpful people involved. Specifically, there is a man with a ponytail that I'm seeing, so take that for what you will. Working with many people, going within, almost like seeking our spirituality, learning who we are, something along those lines. Helpful individuals. There's a number 3 and letter W, open communication that involves young individuals. Again, this Aries and or Taurus possibly connection and or Scorpio. I know that may sound vague, but that's the best as I can do. Number 3, assurance regarding that. There's a connection here with young like children. A whole other scenario, as I'm sure many of us know, going on. Onwards here towards the end. There's a lot that I can say that I'm not saying right now, but the end of next week, from what I'm seeing in this main scenario, there's a lot of surprises. There are 2 people openly communicating, but there's a lot of like things that unknowns around that. There's this heritage lineage connection that I've seen twice now extremely clearly in this scenario. Maybe even a sovereignty connection in some way, shape, or form. This new beginning, these new opportunities, this abundance and prosperity. Person, place, or thing with the letters E and V. E and letter V. Letter E is in there twice. Happiness. And then we are heading into the base, which again, as I mentioned before, is mainly comprised essentially of a tree that is forming beautifully for myself. That is incredible abundance and prosperity. Incredible, like massive. A lot, it's still forming, obviously, it's not fully formed yet. So whatever it is referring to there, I will simply say that there is a lot of partnerships, working with other people, looks positive. Partnerships forming, abundance and prosperity, loving scenario, person, place, or thing with the letters A and or W involved, letter C. But I think I'm actually going to fairly well leave that there because we're really not supposed to know too much else. We'll say a few other things though. I, possibly J, and H. A, specifically the A is in regards to an individual. Wish I could give you more information. This individual may be a departed loved one and is a fire sign. There's also forward movement with that letter A as well. There's a partnerships that involves 3 different individuals or 3 different parties, 3 different parts to it. Letter L, person, place, or thing, and forward movement regarding that. And that is related to a smaller scenario where we are receiving abundance and prosperity. And it seems like significant in and of itself when it does take place at the end of next week, and we're like, oh, like that's really nice, and this is really good. There's like 3 different parts to it. Looks good. There's a letter M that's involved. It's a new idea. It's new opportunities. Letter 3, number 3, letter E, and it looks good. There's reassurance. It's really positive. We're paying attention to it. There's some kind of esoteric, spiritual, sacred knowledge in here, forward movement, and then bam, next weekend happens, and it actually is part of this whole entire abundance and prosperity that is beautifully forming. There may be a number 4 that's associated with that entire scenario, and if so, that to me, anyway, for myself, is like the angel number, as well as stability. Again, we keep seeing a lot of letter J's, and there is this forward movement. There is a very small side section or part of this secondary scenario. You can see the section right here. Quickly looking at that, that is mainly comprised of, again, a lot of thinking and conversations, ideas and things up in the air. Small reminder again, yet again, for perception, perseverance, perspective. Another letter A, new opportunity, reassurance. Letter J, forward movement, taking time out for our own self-care. But it's very much a happy scenario, and there's this reading again, doing research, looking within. And it's a very positive scenario, creates a new opportunity in some way, shape, or form is connected with that. And specifically, there's 4 different things that are related to that. That entire scenario does begin with like some kind of sacred, spiritual, esoteric knowledge that involves the letter L. And as we go further down, things do become more clear and more clarified. We know where we're standing, yet we don't at the same time. And then we are leading into the base. So I would just say keep doing obviously what you need to do for yourself and look after yourself as always. Use your own discernment. It also does appear as though there are 4 different areas in the coming couple of weeks where one of them has the letter W, again, surprise, surprise, associated with it, where things are calm, clear, and quiet, or we want things to get moving. However, based on what I'm seeing, it looks like it's going to be pretty well a full on for the next couple of weeks. So any opportunity, take any opportunity you have, I would say, to take care of yourself and just pace yourself, because it does appear as though it's going to be quite a busy couple of weeks, and we will see what's happening. We know that there are many different things happening right now. I'm very well aware of that. So we will see exactly what is in store and what actually takes place over the next couple of weeks heading into September, which is actually the seventh month. When you look at the calendar, it's like September, Sept, that's 7. October, Oct is 8. November, no, although that's 9. Dec, December, that's 10. Anyways, we'll leave that there. Thank you so much for watching. I truly hope that you found this tea leaf reading to be helpful. One last thing, there is certainly the sense that I'm seeing in here of, yes, forward movement as well as unconditional love, support, loyalty, commitment, maybe even a little bit of the visionary, a bit of a Sagittarius influence at the end of next week, heading into the following week in September. Remember to be introspective and also highly and keenly aware of what is truly happening. A lot of abundance and prosperity. I keep seeing it. Keep seeing trees of varying sizes. So thank you again for watching. I truly hope that you enjoyed this video and this first ever premiere. So I look forward to speaking with you really soon. If you are watching this after the premiere, thank you again so much. And please, if you do feel so inclined, leave a comment in the comment section down below, maybe even giving this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet already, maybe consider giving this channel a subscribe and ring that bell for future updates so you will be notified of any future live streams, or if I get to that point, which I am looking forward to getting to that point, as well as a future premiere and any other videos that I do post. I thank you so much. I love you so much, and I cannot wait to chat with you again very, very, very soon. Hang in there. It's going to be a crazy 2 weeks, but we're prepared. Love you.